Hello, welcome to the program A Lovers Podcast Show. And this is a platform where we can discuss various issues affecting our lives. And the most important thing is to effect positivity, is to promote positive energy in our lives. And we'll be covering various aspects to do with business, entertainment, arts, and all those who are doing projects, doing something that promotes the humanness is welcome on the platform. And today I'm so privileged again to have Florence on the program, and we're going to have a conversation over rather a sensitive topic that affects most of the Africans, that being exploited, rather fear of being exploited, or rather anti exploitation, particularly the women, as we celebrate Women's International Day or month in the month of March in 2024. So we want to unravel and dissect that subject in a way to promote awareness to various people around those affected directly or indirectly, and also the policymakers, the government, all the people who are involved in terms of decision making at the highest level to come on board and be able to look into these issues. Unless we make noise, nothing will happen. Florence, welcome to the to Lovers Podcast Show.
Thank you, lovers. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. You're looking very well yourself, Florence.
Thank you. Thank you.
Grant. So, Florence, this is rather a sensitive topic we're handling today here, to do with the exploitation of migrant female workers, particularly in the UK where you are. And these people are the ones who are coming to work in the health sector and social sector, or social care workers. Before we go into that, would you mind to introduce yourself and straight away go to the subject?
Yes, my name is Florence Gwatirisa, and I'm a business owner in Coventry in the UK. I support managers and people who have companies, who are running companies within the health and social care sector. And I'm directly linked with people who are coming to the UK to work in the health and social care sector, in the sense that I do support with their training. Yes.
Great. That's
Mhm.
about you. Just go straight away to the subject, Florence, and let's continue from there.
Yes. I've had a personal experience of people who've come into the training room and are in a desperate situation.
Mm,
So, as a woman, I just feel that there's something that we need to do as a community,
right.
because I cannot just look at people suffering and do nothing about it.
Certainly.
Yes, there is a real issue, especially with people who have come from Africa, so to say,
Okay.
because those are the people that I have interacted with in most cases.
Hmm.
People are coming in on the promise of some work,
Right.
and yet they may spend months before they start working.
Mm, mm,
And whilst they are waiting to start working,
mm,
there's a lot of challenges, there's difficulties that they are facing.
mm, mm,
And this is something that needs to be debated,
mm,
needs to be discussed, because the suffering of women,
mm,
children,
mm,
families, so to say,
mm.
is something that should not be happening at this stage
Right.
in
Precisely, Florence. And I'm just thinking and imagining for one to migrate into another country, particularly coming from Africa into the UK, that's miles away from home, and one has to fork out quite a fortune to be able to, especially to pay for the organizations that are facilitating their recruitment, as well as flight to come to the UK. And when they're in the UK, they are of nowhere. They find it so hard to settle because one, the jobs are hard to come by, and accommodation issue becoming also critical and imperative or hard to come by. Later on, their livelihoods, food, and social life is all compromised. You are virtually taken out of your life in general, the thing that we used to growing, and suddenly it's no more.
Yes, the situation is very troubling. I had a personal experience of a woman who turned up for training with a baby on her back.
Baby on her back. Why would she come with a
This,
baby to the training?
yeah, this alone will tell you that the recruitment of people
Mm,
is being compromised
mm, mm.
in the sense that the person who's coming in to do her training
Right.
is not even aware of the sort of training that they are supposed to be doing.
Ah, okay.
Because if somebody is going to come with a baby on her back,
Right.
and yet they are supposed to be doing moving and handling activities,
I can imagine, yeah.
then it tells you that there's something that is not right.
So basically, people are not informed of the nature of the job they're doing, and particularly in this instance, training, what it involves, what it engages. And one, surely, if she was aware, wouldn't bring the baby to the training session, would she?
She wouldn't. And
Yeah.
I mean, asking her why she would turn up on it, she expressed a case of desperation
Mm,
because she had arrived and for several months
mm,
she had not been working. So
okay.
when the manager called to say, you can go for training now so you can start working, she did not have anyone to leave the baby with.
Mm,
She just took the opportunity and turned up.
mm. Now
Yes.
that's really sad. That's really sad.
Mm.
So there's no fairness in the distribution of information in preparation for them to be engaged in the work. Later on, their life they're living in general. Now,
Mm.
Florence, let's look into other areas of concern. You mentioned one aspect of somebody coming to training unprepared. Are there other serious cases of exploitation vis-a-vis modern day slavery, or what we call or term new slavery, that is unfolding in our eyes, or just in this day and age regarding these women who are coming into the UK? Of course, it's not only the UK. We're talking of the UK because that's the territory you are in, but we have people, I'm in Ireland, and the same situation. The situation is the same. So, what are
Mm.
other aspects of women being a woman and how vulnerable a woman is? What are other issues that are taking place on the ground?
Yes, I've heard stories of people who have nowhere to live. They've come in, they've been promised accommodation. They have lived in that accommodation for a month, and then the second month they are being asked to look for somewhere else to go, and yet they are not having enough hours to work.
That's so
So
sad.
what it means is there's no income,
Mm,
and somebody is thrown out on the street.
mm,
That to me is also evidence that we are not putting thought
mm.
into the employment of these people who are coming in.
And when they are in the streets, what happens to them? What will be the
It's a,
situation?
It's a sad situation. One narrative was somebody would actually live on the bus
On the bus.
because they cannot afford any accommodation. So they'll get a bus to go to wherever the bus is going, get another bus, and keep traveling until end of day.
Really?
I've heard stories of people who are sleeping at the station. It's heartbreaking.
It is. It is really
It
heartbreaking. It's
is
so
heartbreaking.
sad, really.
Mm,
And this, we don't expect this to be happening in this day and age,
not
considering
in this
that
country.
we consider ourselves civilized and we've come a long way. And
Mm,
slavery used to be targeting men back in the days, of course, as well as women. Men primarily to offer labor in the fields and different aspects of life for free and cheap labor. Women
mm.
will be based in their houses to do house calls and all those kind of things. The list is endless, and also prostitution or sex slavery for women will be exploited in that area. Now we're talking of modern day slavery, and the narrative is the same. Nothing has changed. It's just the name that is just changing.
That's the sad thing because the way things are going, we're going to find a lot of people who are going to become very, very desperate, and we are going to end up with a lot of health issues, mental health issues, sexually transmitted diseases. It's it's just so heartbreaking that at this time and age we're still having such kind of things when things should be, I mean, it should be smooth sailing. When people are recruited,
Yeah.
they should know exactly where they are going to be working and how they are going to be working. It should never be a case where people will come and find out when they are already in the UK that things are
Yeah.
not as rosy as they were promised.
Exactly. They are not as rosy as they were promised. Now, you reminded me of something that I came across on the social media. Somebody complaining about sexual transmitted infections around the citizenry of the UK. Now, I would like to think if one is exploited sexually, definitely you those things are bound to happen.
Definitely. And it becomes a vicious cycle with those diseases going on, and also bearing in mind that the people who are coming in are people who are not on, they've no recourse to public funds.
That's true. That's true.
So it means that the suffering is just going to multiply.
Multiply.
Yes.
And looking at a woman, as we celebrate Women International Day, when I look at a woman, Florence, I'm not just seeing a woman, I'm seeing a family. I'm seeing behind a woman their children.
Yes.
Behind a woman, there is a husband. There's a huge family, children, husband, and extended family. I always
Mm-hmm.
heard that growing up, if you give birth to a girl child, you are rest assured of somebody to look after you. Unlike men, men can easily forget about you. That goes to the parents. So, in that context, that's Africanness. That's how the African girl child was brought up. That when she
Mm-hmm.
grows up, an African girl child will never forget uh, her parents or where she came from. Would you agree to that?
Oh, yes. I mean, you remember the notion: educate a woman,
Yeah, yeah,
you educate the whole nation.
exactly. So,
When women are looking for jobs, they are not just looking for jobs for
yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
They are looking for jobs so that they can sustain the family.
that's true.
They've got the children at heart, they've got the husband at heart.
Right.
They also have the rest of the family at heart. So once they get into these circles where their lives are disrupted in this manner,
Right.
it means there's a whole nation that is disrupted.
Very true. The whole nation is distracted. I was brought up
Mm.
by my mom. I was brought up by my sister, also played a pivotal role, whom I still regard as a friend, sister, and mother. How she toiled day and night to make sure that I'm comfortable. I go to school. Though my story is another story for another day, how my life was when I was growing. But a woman is the one I attribute to who stood by my side for me to be where I am, for me to have attained whatever the little and goals that I've managed to achieve. It was a woman. So if we don't protect a woman, we are not doing anything.
That's true. This is why we are wanting these conversations and making sure that the women are included in the conversations because they are the people who are suffering. They are the people who know they've got the solutions. So what we want is to bring them to the table where we can discuss these problems and make sure that the policymakers are hearing their side of the story.
Right. Florence wanted to talk to the solutions. Now, you just mentioned one of them, that we need to bring it to the table for discussion. Also engaging the policymakers as well as the women who are affected directly or indirectly to come on board and say something, make a voice, not to keep quiet, not to die in silence, but to speak out. And you have a platform that you talked to me earlier of air. Tell me, share us more about that.
Yes. In this month of March, where we are celebrating International Women's Day, and we're not just going to celebrate it on one day.
It's true.
We're wanting to make sure that in the whole month, we are creating an awareness space where people can come together and discuss issues such as these ones that we are facing at the moment. So we do support organizations in making sure that their staff become aware of where they can get support.
Right.
They also become aware of where discussions can be held so that they can air their views. We do have on the 15th of March a women's celebration of International Women's Day.
Right.
And we're hoping that in this space, we are going to be discussing such kind of issues. There's education and training. There's faith awareness. There is also the problems that women are facing and try and come up with solutions, because I believe that solutions come from the people who are affected.
That's true. Solutions come to the people who are affected. So, which means there are phone numbers. They can reach out to you, and those who might want to participate can also register with you, I'm sure. And we'll put up the numbers. And there's a flyer also I saw. I'll try to put it up as well, so that those who might want to be conversant or want to participate can also reach out through online platform to the program. Isn't that so, Florence?
Yes. On our Business Associates Forum, there was a posting that came through from one of the ladies who's inviting people to an International Women's Day celebration on the 13th of March. And this is going to be a discussion forum on Zoom.
Right.
And it will be between 11 and 1 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good forum for people to come on board so that they can talk about this exploitation that is happening of workers within the health and social care sector. Yes. And throughout the month, we also have discussions at the Central Hall in Coventry. So those of the women who can make it to the Central Hall, also putting out links as to how they can access those discussions.
That's perfect, Florence. Thank you so much for coming on the program, a Lovers Podcast Show, and be able to discuss this pertinent, very crucial aspect of our lives affecting migrant women coming into working in the UK and, of course, across the globe, particularly in the health and social sector. And thank you so much for doing a great job to support and offer guidance to these various individuals who are coming to the UK, and the job that you're doing in business, and also the seminars that endless seminars rather, that you're engaging yourself in, and also to promote positivity and inclusion. So, Florence, what will be your last words as we conclude?
Thank you very much, lovers, for this conversation. This is just the beginning.
Yes.
I thank you that you are also on the
All
lookout
right.
to see how you can come in and support women.
That's true. That's true.
When women are empowered,
Mm.
when women are informed,
Mm.
when women are educated, it means that we are building a society
Mm. Mm.
that is fully versed with the knowledge and skills that they need.
Mm. Mm.
So this opportunity is very, very good for
It
us.
is.
Thank you very much for opening up this opportunity for us.
The pleasure was all mine, Florence Gotterisa, for coming on board and discussing this. And also, it takes two to tango. It's not only the battle for women, but also men are also critical and crucial. And probably most of them are the perpetrators of what women go through. So we need to take part as men and support women, because they are the weaker vessels. So we need to support them. And thank you, Florence. And from me, Lovers Family, it's a bye bye. And this is Lovers Podcast Show. Please like and subscribe. More is coming. And keep glued. And it's a bye bye for now.
Thank you.